How magnetic and how attractive you are depends on how you feel about yourself. How you feel about you is projected out to other people. And other people pick up on that and they treat you in accordance to how you see you. I used to know this guy that I used to work with back when I had a 9-to-5 job back in 2017, and he would always date some of the most beautiful women. And it was just a pattern that he had, and these women would just go crazy for him. And I'm not being judgmental or anything, but when I met him, I was really surprised to see that, just based on, I guess, the superficiality of how he looked. But it's an energy game. I've also known people that may look, and on paper you're like, oh, they look this way, but they have big blocks when it comes to love or when it comes to attraction. You think, what are you talking about, bro? And the reason being is because unless you feel good about you, other people won't feel good about you. I felt blocked for a long time. I had a low sense of self-worth. So for years, I was blocked in the love department because I didn't feel worthy of love, and I just had this self-limiting block. It's a powerful thing. The way and the filter for which we see ourselves is projected out, and we're literally blocking things from coming into our life depending on that. Now, once I changed my own self-esteem and I changed my vibration, that's when everything began to change. That's really the key to understanding attraction as well, and self-worth. How you feel about you, like the version of you that is here now, your reality is equal to what you're putting out. So if you have codependent behaviors, if you're afraid of intimacy, if you have an attachment style where you're really attached to other people and you really care about what they think and you're tied to their validation, then that version of you will change. You literally abandon yourself to then make other people happy, and that's not an attractive energy. But there is a version of you where you are cool, calm, and collected. There's a version of you where it is natural for you to feel love for yourself, feel that self-worth, and it's natural for you to have people that love you back or the people that are attracted to you. These two realities exist right now. How do I know that? Well, what parallel realities show us that every possible reality we can imagine exists right now, and all we have to do is choose it. When I was working that 9-to-5 job selling women's shoes, I made a choice that made me this version of me now. I became that version of me by giving myself permission. Now, a lot of this process is realizing that reality and what you experience in your life is 100% vibration based. You are getting a reflection of your vibration. That includes attracting love. For me, what I had to do is I realized that I had codependent behaviors, where when I was young, I had the shadow work where I felt tied to wanting people's validation and approval. And I was used to people that were emotionally unavailable in my life, and I would entertain that way longer than necessary. So I would abandon myself because I felt emotionally abandoned as a kid. And what I would do is I would then change my sense of gravity, and I had a low sense of self-worth. So for years I would block love from coming into my life. I'd have this needy type behavior where I'd try to control everything because I really cared what people thought. And what then eventually happened is I went within myself and I did the shadow work, and I became aware that I had this abandonment where I abandoned myself when I was a kid because I was trying to please everybody else. And what I did is I stopped abandoning myself. It was a game changer. Going into the childhood trauma changes everything. And it's not hard, it's easy to do. It just requires knowing the right questions to ask, being curious about your own childhood, and then making a new choice about who you are. Once I realized the abandonment I felt as a kid had nothing to do with me, it was my own parents' stuff they were dealing with, I then separated myself from it, and that's when everything changed because I changed how I felt about myself. It's one of the biggest wounds, by the way, is the abandonment wound, the fear of rejection, or the break in trust from somebody from your past. Now, something that we are doing for 21 days in a row, starting July 1st to the 21st, is we're going through a 21-day process to becoming a more magnetic version of us, to raising our vibration, to really letting go of attachment, letting go of labels, letting go of limiting beliefs, negative self-image, letting go of codependent patterns, letting go of the attachment style that keeps us blocked, letting go of putting people on a pedestal. And when we let this go, we then allow ourselves to wire in a version of us that is higher vibrational, where it is, like I said, it is natural for us to experience love in our life. That worthiness is there. And really, most of this process, by the way, isn't about wiring in and really being like focused on what we're bringing in. It's just letting go of the past. When we let go of the past and we let go of the negative beliefs, we naturally feel confident. We naturally carry ourselves different. We must be the versions of us that are the highest vibrational, and that's how we attract love into our life. So if you want to join, today's one of the last days to join the 21-day Magnetic Love Challenge to get 3 bonuses and lifetime access to it. Click the link below or go to aarondowdy.com/love, L-O-V-E, and you can join. I'm excited for this. This is different than YouTube videos. It's not just videos you get that you watch. There's literally homework at the end of each video, and there's accountability. So you do the homework, you post it in this High Viber Tribe group, which you'll get lifetime access to. You'll literally get to meet your soul family, people from all over the world. And that creates a safe container for us to open up the vulnerability to share, to then heal. And it changes everything. So if you want to join right now, all you got to do is click the link below, join the 21-day Magnetic Love Challenge. What you're doing is by doing that choice, you're moving from this old version of you, the version that's attached or has these codependent patterns, or maybe what you find is that you attract either feminine men or masculine females, or you want to tap into your own masculine or feminine energy, or whatever also the sexual orientation is. Masculine, feminine energy exists within everybody. But when you heal that, what happens is then you start being this new version of you. I had to really become embodied to wire in this higher vibrational version of me. And for me to attract love, this is exactly what I had to do. I had to become more embodied. I had to let go of the past codependent behaviors. I had to go into the shadow work. And once I did all of this, it completely changed my vibration, and it was natural for other people to love me. It was natural for me to attract emotionally available people. This was a game changer, and that's what we're going to be doing for the 21-day Magnetic Love Challenge, is letting go and wiring in the new higher vibrational version of us. And we do that so that we don't stay attracting the same type of people over and over again, or justifying the same level of blocks or that same level of feeling alone or lonely. That all can change, and it's easy. It's not as hard as you think. Realize attraction is not about looks. It's not about the right manipulative thing that we say. It's none of that stuff. It is simply your vibration, how you think, feel, and act. When you are more in alignment and you've raised your vibe, this is something that comes in naturally. But remember, it is letting go of the neediness, letting go of the abandonment, letting go of the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection, by realizing that this is all an inner game. You can only reject yourself. You can only abandon yourself. And when you start living by those higher values, it really is a whole new world. My whole entire life has changed since becoming aware of all of these different things. So let me see if I've noticed this in a lot of different, I wrote a couple things down. I've noticed this though in many people's lives in general. You know, there's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And this book is about a plastic surgeon who noticed that when people get plastic surgery, they don't actually experience any change in emotion or anything unless they also change their inner self-image. When I learned about this, I was working at Nordstrom's and Women's Shoes. I started to see myself as a top salesperson, and within a couple days, I was consistently a top salesperson at the top of the list for the top sales from the day before. Because before, it was on autopilot. I saw myself as an average employee. I applied this same technique and practice to me becoming a full-time YouTuber, letting go of the old identity and wire in something new. And I've also done that with the old version of me that was not masculine initiated, that really cared what other people thought, that had these codependent patterns, that attracted emotionally unavailable people, that didn't feel worthy of love. I felt like I had so much childhood trauma that it wasn't even worth trying. And honestly, I had these beliefs about like marriage and relationships that are all distorted because I've seen my dad go through 2 different relationships, my mom go through 2 different relationships where it was like really dramatic. So there was blocks that I had, but realize it doesn't have to be like that for you. In those 21 days, what we're going to do is let go of those beliefs, let go of those patterns so that we can actually allow something deep and great in, or go deeper with our current partner or person that we're dating. Imagine that your energy is so magnetic and so powerful that other people chase you. They just naturally gravitate to you because of your own energy. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to develop magnetic love attraction and the frequency of that, the components, like the ingredients that go into this. I'm going to show you how to integrate it into your life so that love chases you. Now, when we talk about this, let me first off kind of clarify it as well. When you are in a certain state, your energy and the way people respond to your energy is very different. Now, people feel what you feel. So the key to developing magnetic love frequency, the magnetic love energy, is for you to feel it on the inside first, and to have that energy that you embody, which then is emanated out of you, which then other people pick up on and respond to. I remember I had a friend that I used to work with, a coworker of mine back when I used to have a 9-to-5 job, and she would realize that anytime she was single, guys would not hit on her. But the moment she would get into that of a relationship, she would get hit on like 5 to 10 times in one day. What was the difference between where she was before when she was single to where she was when she was in a relationship? Where she had a rule in her mind that when she was in a relationship, then she could feel worthy, then she felt magnetic, and then naturally so many men would hit on her. So it was a direct reflection of how she felt about herself. Now here's the cool thing. You don't have to wait for some external person to be in your life for you to feel that worthiness, that wholeness, that completeness, which then tunes you to a reality where people are naturally magnetized to your energy. So that's something to think about. Your state of being. I've noticed that my own energy has become much more magnetic the more I focus on raising my own frequency, on focusing on the love that is already within me. And you'll even see that when I speak, when it comes to magnetism, everyone has this, by the way. This isn't something it's just something you have to maybe get a little bit more used to. When we talk about that of magnetic energy, a very strong component of it in communication is tonality. How are you speaking? When if I were to do the whole talk like this right now, and I would be doing it, I'm even looking at the sound thing that's on this camera right now, and it's like barely moving just a little bit because the tonality that I'm using is so monotonous, or whatever that word is, and it's very boring. But you'll notice that when I am speaking like this, it may look a little bit over-exaggerated, it may seem a little bit grandiose, but guess what? You probably like to listen to it. It's a little bit more dynamic than me talking like this. Now, the thing that I think some people miss when it comes to magnetism is understanding the power of their own energy and how that energy can translate through sound. Sound! You see how I even say that? Sound! Up and down! Sound! I used to play band music. Like when I was in high school, I did band. And there's you can read sheet music. There's different notes. There's different octaves. But here's the cool thing too. You can stand in front of a mirror and talk kind of like I'm talking now, which probably sounds ridiculous when you start doing it and you haven't done it before. But the more you do it, the more it changes your state, the more it changes how you feel. Tonality is a very important part of developing an attractive energy. But behind the tonality is the energy. So let me talk to you now, or share with you, some of the magnetic love frequency, some of the main components. Now, the number one thing I would say that it's important to develop magnetic love frequency, or that energy, and to have people chase you, is a little bit counterintuitive. It is the degree to which you can be not needy. Not needy. You feel 100% whole and complete. You feel like your cup is already full. Full. Not a fool, but full. And because your cup is already full, you don't need anything from anyone else. You're already enough. And by having that perspective, you're in a very abundant state. When two people meet, there's one person that's normally going to be more needy than the other one. And the one that is less needy holds the frame. Now, how do you become not needy? Well, a lot of that, honestly, is also having to do some of your feminine, masculine wounds, which is a whole other video topic all in of itself. But it's about healing that energy within you. I realized that growing up, there were certain emotions, certain things I craved in a partner that I feel like maybe I haven't received completely yet, mainly because I always attracted a certain type of person in my life. Like, for example, my ex-stepmom, many of you may know this story. She was mentally, physically, emotionally abusive. She was in my life from when I was 7 to about 16, 17 years old. And what happened is, 16 years old came around, I never had to deal with her again. I kept attracting women in my life that were very similar to my ex-stepmom, that were very controlling, that would kind of drain my energy, And one thing I realized with my ex-stepmom is because she was controlling, manipulative, and I grew up a certain way, I never really had that nurturing growing up. My real mom came back into my life when I was like 16, 17 years old, when I was allowed to see her again. But in that period of my life, I never really had someone to nurture me. And because of that, I think I craved that for much of my life until these last couple of years when, especially this last year, I've been giving myself the nurturing I crave. I've been healing that feminine wound inside of myself where I'm almost afraid to commit to the feminine because I've seen my dad go through a lot of pain with my ex-stepmom through that divorce. So a lot of attracting love also has to do with healing the feminine, the masculine wounds inside of you. And when it comes to being not needy, it's about understanding your cup is already full. You're already 100% whole and complete. You don't need anyone else to feel 100% worthy, whole, and complete. It's about you tapping into that own energy within yourself. So the degree to which you can be not needy is the degree to which you will be attractive. And on the other side of this, the thing that I really recommend, especially in the masculine energy, is become the star of your own movie. The star of your own movie. A people pleaser. Some people, like if you were a parent pleaser growing up, meaning your parent was very strict, there was a lot of discipline there, what you'll find is that because of that, that parent pleasing growing up may eventually have turned you into a people pleaser. And when you are a people pleaser, what is happening is you are then becoming the cameo in their movie. And when you are the cameo in their movie, they're going to treat you like a cameo. So the key to this is becoming aware of the energy dynamic and how you are showing up. And the way you take your star role back is by realizing that you are the star. You are not the cameo. When you are a people pleaser, you are being the cameo in other people's movie and you are trying to please them with the hope that then you will gain their validation. So instead of that, what I recommend you do is you focus on you being the star of your own movie and setting your lifestyle up in a way to where it naturally gravitates energy towards you. How would you be the star of your own movie? Well, you would literally go out into the world and go after your dreams, your desires. You find out what that is. And by going out, you create a certain gravity to you. And imagine this, when you're in the passion frequency of what you love doing, you are then a vibrational match to that of the person that's going to be the best balance to that energy. But when you're not being your true self, you can't actually attract a deep, meaningful love attraction, love connection. So tonality, lifestyle, developing a lifestyle, anything that you think is your flaw, own it. Own it. Pretend and literally realize that if you own it, people feel what you feel, not what you think they feel. So if you have some like little insecurity, if you have a mole, if you're a certain height, if you feel like your hair is this way, or you just have a certain appearance, well, guess what? If you were just to own it, you'd then be emitting an energy that is so attractive that other people naturally gravitate to it. I knew this guy that I used to work with, and people would look at it and be like, how is this guy able to date some of the most like beautiful women, like models? How is he able to do that? People wouldn't understand it. The dude just had very good energy. It's all, attracting love is about energy. People think it's about looks. Looks, of course, help at a certain level, but energy is the most important thing. You'll see some guys that might be extraordinarily attractive or some women that might be extraordinarily attractive on the outside, but on the inside, there may not be that glue that really holds that together or that sexual polarity within them. Polarity is important with attraction too. So are you really embodying your feminine or masculine qualities? How are you showing up in the world in that way? Have you healed the masculine and feminine wounds? Now, one of the most important things I would say to have magnetic frequency or magnetic love, energy, having fun. Just having fun, that's it. The degree to which you can have more fun and be in a high vibe state, it's gonna literally attract people to you. I used to work that 9-to-5 job selling women's shoes. Every single day we started at zero. I would go in every single day and I would get paid like 6% on whatever I sold. So if I sold like $4,000 or $5,000 worth of shoes, I'd get paid, I don't know, what is that, a couple $100 in commission. I would practice and go in every single day and see how my energy would show up in that job and see what the result was with how much I sold for the day, since every day I started at zero. What I learned is that the more fun I would have, the more it would gravitate customers towards me, the more attractive I would be, the more people, well, the more I worked in women's shoes, so the more women would hit on me. Very interesting. But the degree to which you come off as attractive or have magnetic energy is the degree to which you can have fun. Because fun is a high vibrational state of being. It's loose, it's more malleable. When people are very serious, it's a very heavy energy. So one of the best things you can do is just learn to just have more fun. One thing that I recently did with some friends is we went out in the public here in Sedona. We did these little challenges. We'd go out into the stores and we had 2 hours to do these crazy challenges. One of the challenges was I had to convince 2 people that I lost a purple ferret in the store and see if they could help me find it. And I ran up to them all I was like, guys, excuse me, can you please help me? There's this purple ferret that I have. I came here with my girlfriend. We lost it. I can't find it. It's under the aisle somewhere. Can you help me look for it? They helped me look for it for like 5 minutes. They were like looking under the aisles and stuff. It was so funny. The other one is I proposed to an artichoke in the middle of Whole Foods. I literally did this whole minute-long speech, got on my knees, and then proposed to it. And then she said yes. And there were like people all around. Why did I do something like that? It broke me out of my box. And it made me feel very alive. It made me not give a what people think too. But here's the funny thing. When we were doing these challenges, I was with some friends, and we were all doing these like kind of fun, someone was air guitaring to like loudspeaker that we brought into the store. When we were doing all of these things, very ironic, because it was so fun, our vibration was so high that even if we like were trying to ask people questions and they weren't about, and they didn't want to like it would like gravitate and suck people in. One thing I did is I had to like reenact Titanic with somebody, blast the speaker, and like the part where they're at the front of the boat like this. So it was like someone was riding a cart with me, and we were doing that, blasting the speaker through Whole Foods. So things like that, right? But the more having fun, the more magnetic energy will you naturally have. So the other thing is the story about love. What is your story about love? Do you believe you have magnetic energy? Do you believe that you are worthy of love? The story, the beliefs you have about love are constantly being reflected back to you. I've just developed the belief and given myself the permission to just know that I just have magnetic energy. That's what you can do as well. Some of the other things is realizing clarity of what you want when it comes to love. Clarity of the qualities. I'd say qualities are more important than like the looks or things like that, but that's very important than gratitude, feeling grateful for the love already in your life, even friends and family. That helps you tap into the frequency of already having it. Just like that friend, coworker I used to have, that when she was in a relationship, she'd get hit on so much. It's because she was in that vibration. Now, the thing that I encourage you to do is to embody the energy of love for 21 days. 21 days is a powerful benchmark that we can use, almost like a permission slip, that can help us wire in a new sense of identity. One of the most attractive qualities you can possibly have is to be not needy. You could say the degree to which you are attractive is the degree to which you are not needy. And if you are needy, then the degree to which you are needy is the degree to which you put off other people. So when we understand the mechanism of neediness and we heal it, that's when we then become more attractive and we become more self-validating, and we aren't then looking to the outside for validation. So in this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you the curse of neediness, how to cure it, how to never be needy again, and how that will make you way more attractive. These are things that completely transform my life, and I believe they will change yours as well. I want to share with you the most important thing I've learned when it comes to attraction and when it comes to energy dynamics in general. And it has to do with something that is called the locus of control. The locus of control is what we use to control different aspects of our life. And the challenge is that if our locus of control is external, meaning we rely on the outside to get our needs met, then what we end up doing is we end up developing a very needy energy dynamic. Think of this energy dynamic kind of like from the movie Anchorman, Sex Panther. There's a guy, Paul Rudd, in that movie. He's like, you gotta wear this cologne called Sex Panther. All the ladies be coming at you when you wear it. And he puts on this Sex Panther, which has like the piss of a panther and like all this crazy stuff in it. and he wears it thinking it's attractive. He thinks it's going to get him what he wants, which what he wants is like, ladies that want to sleep with him. He puts on this cologne. He goes out and people are like, what the hell? That smells like piss. Like, want him to get away. It's repelling. Well, in the same way, that's what neediness is. Neediness is Sex Panther. You think that neediness is going to get you what you want because then you can control other people. You can control what they think about you. You can control and get validation. But in actuality, it is completely repelling them. Now, what if I told you that your natural pheromones and you being yourself would attract people if you would just be in your own frame, be in your own body? That's a metaphor. Also, maybe there's somewhat truth in it. But the degree to which you can be you and in your own container, you can be embodied, is going to be the degree to which you release these pheromones that then attract people. Now, in a way, maybe there's truth to pheromones. I'm using it as a metaphor. The authentic version of you is what's attractive. It's just that many people aren't being themselves because their locus of control is on controlling the outer environment. It was like that for me for a long time. I was in relationship and dynamics where I would try to control what people thought of me. This had me also attracting people that were also wanting significance by being with me. And I remember I have friends that were like this, that were like they liked that like almost like sense of significance from having me around in their frame. And what would then happen is I was getting their validation, so I was getting my needs met, and they were feeling more validated by me being in their frame, and it became this like unhealthy relationship type thing. So once I became aware of this, and once I started self-validating myself, and I started to change my value system, this really is the key. If you're needy, then what's happening is there's a codependent pattern there that most likely stems from childhood. There were times in childhood where you wanted your needs met and you had to tune to the external to get your needs met. Maybe you had to tune to your parents or tune to their emotions. And what happens is you then were looking for their validation. Maybe they didn't give it to you. I know that I felt that in many ways because I felt like I had emotionally unavailable parents doing the best they could, but in that way, I then developed a belief that I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. And it became normal for me to try to fix people, to try to get them to love me. I would find people and attract people that I needed to fix, that I felt I needed to fix. And then I would be completely dependent on their validation, their sense of them coming around. And I didn't realize that I was literally addicted to that pattern. Neediness is an addiction. You're addicted to needing validation from other people. And the idea is that if someone can give you validation, then you'll finally be enough. But it's built on a false premise. It's built on a belief that says you're not good enough already and that you need validation from other people because you haven't given yourself the validation. This is key. What I had to do is I had to let go of the neediness and the old codependent behaviors and really the old version of me, which let go of the blocks of like people taking advantage of me not being in my body, in my own frame. I had to let that go, and I had to let in a version of me that had a higher value system, that valued authenticity over validation, that valued being raw, even though sometimes that meant I was more polarizing. I had to let go and then wire in a completely new reality. Now, something that this inspired me to do is letting go of this codependent behavior and understanding how to be magnetic. There's something that's going to be starting on July 1st to July 21st. It's a 21-day magnetic love challenge for raising your vibration and becoming magnetic from the inside out, for letting go of these codependent behaviors, letting go of unworthiness, letting go of blocks that you might have for love, letting go of intimacy blocks, the childhood trauma, and wiring in a brand new version of you that is higher vibrational, where it is natural for you to have love as a reflection or be in deep relationships or whatever it is. So if you're in a relationship and you want to go deeper and you want to heal your childhood trauma, or you're single and you want to attract love in or just feel that self-love within yourself, then click the link below and go to aarondowdy.com/love, because we're going to be going through 21 days of transformation, letting go of the old to wire in the new. This is a process we're going to be going through. And if you guys join right now, you get 2 bonuses as well. You'll click there, you'll see what's involved. One is a bonus with my shadow work integration coach, which I've never shared him before, but he's going to be doing a live call on masculine and feminine polarity, how to heal and take down the masculine or feminine shield within yourself so that you can embody that polarity and how to really embody your energy too. So anyways, I'm excited about that. But the biggest transformation I've had this year is letting go of codependent behaviors that I realized I had because I was trying to either fix other people or I wanted validation from other people. And it was realizing, my dad is like the traditional nice guy. So I had to shed that pattern. I had to become more authentically me. The more and the degree to which I could go within my own body and I could see what do I want to do and I could start drawing source from within was the degree to which I was in and had that magnetic energy where literally my whole entire reality changed. And it really also, a lot of this is from the fear of abandonment. If we're afraid of being abandoned and people aren't going to, either they emotionally abandon us or physically abandon us when we're kids, if we're afraid of that abandonment, then what happens is we're changing our center of gravity to mold to other people, trying to get validation or approval or support. And the challenge with that is that then, because we are externally focused on trying to change the outside, it's like our sense of gravity is so weak that we're constantly feeling not enough. Really what this is we have a value system that's rooted in a belief that we're not enough, and we value people's approval over our own authenticity. And the key to this for me was realizing and becoming aware, first off, of my own inauthenticity. Even like the nice guy pattern that came from my dad, it was realizing that being the nice guy is inauthentic. Being a people pleaser is inauthentic. It is trying to literally exchange. It's a needy vampire energy that's trying to exchange being nice for approval. And when I started giving myself my own approval, it became way more dangerous because I was not at the whims of other people's approval. I started having my locus of control being from the inside. I started instead, which means I started valuing myself and I started validating myself and I started knowing that I could choose. I'm not at the victim of anything else. Maybe because I was a victim in my childhood, I believed that I was at the whims of everything else. That changed everything. Neediness is a disease. Neediness is, not literally a disease, but neediness is like a drug. And the way that you cure this drug is you start going within for what you're looking for. You start realizing a chunk of you is not outside of yourself. It's not in other people. The validation is something you can give yourself. The emotional abandonment that you experience as a kid or the physical abandonment you experience as a kid where you decided that you had to tune to the outside to get your needs met, you can realize that you abandoned yourself in that process. Yourself being in your body. And the key to this is realizing, what do you want? Who are you? What are you passionate about? What is authentic for you in this moment? As you start asking that question, you start embodying more of your own energy. That changes everything. This video right here, this is one of the most powerful videos that I made, and I highly recommend that you watch it because it'll help you with what you learned in this video. People feel what you feel about you. The energy inside of our bodies are contagious. And based on how we feel about ourselves, that energy is being